Alrighty, welcome back to Tokyo to LA Radio Podcast number 2. This is your host, Tokyo Kid Vamp. Y'all know how it is. I'm out here in LA. It's 4:05 p.m. on the 23rd. Everybody's out here grinding. You know how it is. It's COVID-19 going on. You know, you got the schools that don't really care about their students. Keep sending them emails because they want your money. You guys know how it is out here. Everybody just keep the energy positive and stay focused on your goals. You're going to be alright. Everything's going to be just fine. You're going to be alright out there. Alright, so for today's episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about friends in Japan and how to make good friends out there. Let me go ahead and knock it out with the sponsors right quick. All the visuals are provided by Tokyo Kid Productions. All their emails, links where you can reach them at is in the description. They do entertainment internationally, all over the world, shows, management, international management for artists, you name it. Visuals, editing, they have catalogs of music videos, documentaries, podcasts, all types of things. Now in regards to the podcast itself, sound design, the music, scores, and beat are provided by TK Pro Tokyo Music Group. So thank you to those guys. Thanks a lot. Living in Japan, that's one thing. Now you got to make the friends out there. All right, let's go ahead and get to it, guys. So from my experience, and from the experience of others who are successful in their livelihood. Now, that can be subjective. One saying, what is success? Honestly, it's just subjective. If you can be happy having nothing, I think you're winning in life. If you can be happy having a lot of things, a lot of assets, a lot of money, I think you're winning in life. It's all subjective how you look at it. Is it half empty or half full? So with your friends, typically there is an equal exchange of time and knowledge. So I say again, with your friends, typically there is an equal exchange of time and knowledge. To include cultural knowledge, don't just be a consumer in the relationship. Those tend to actually go bad. So if you're in the relationship, any type of relationship, even with the opposite sex, if all you're doing is trying to be a consumer of it, well, I mean, not just the sex itself, when we all been there, but if that's all you're trying to get out of it, the relationship is only going to be as much as what you put into it. So you hold more value to the relationship if you are unique, if you have unique information, unique attributes about yourself. Your person, you are a unique individual. I want to be your friend. That really does apply to when you're trying to draw the attention of yourself. And ultimately, for those of you who are like pretty business savvy and you got really great networking skills, you already know what I'm talking about. You gotta have that attribute where you can draw people in who just want to be your friend. You gotta do that. It's the way how things are. You need numbers. So you need to be able to provide information and details that others cannot provide. And they literally just can't get it anywhere else. And it also helps if you're approachable. Approachable, that can be all sorts of things from the ground up. It can be the way your demeanor is, your facial expressions, how you dress, how you groom your hair, how much facial hair you have, skin tones, skin complexion, your teeth. What does your teeth look like? You know, I'm being serious. This is everything that you're going to be critiqued on when somebody wants to be your friend, especially 2020 in Japan. So listen up. Actually, if you have a good aura about yourself and your reputation is good, who you are as a person is going to spread regardless. So that holds true even if it's the opposite. You have a bad aura about yourself, you have a negative reputation, that's going to spread just as fast, if not faster. So just be aware. Even if you have a great reputation, that still spreads. So be aware. There's always negatives and positives to that. Making friends at all times, it can always help if you're a foreigner. You stand out. Specifically if you're dark complexion, but you do have some attributes that, let's say, the citizens, those who provide to society in Japan, they're just like, dang, you know, the media has you guys painted out to look a little differently and act differently, but you're really different. I would consider you a good friend. I want to be your friend. Those that have that dark complexion, you're going to run into that. It just depends on how much you can bring to the table. In Japan, 2020 Japan, you got to keep this in mind. This might sound crazy me saying this, but you got to keep this in mind. Japan has small town mentality. So for those of us that come from small towns, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody knows each other. This holds true, especially if you're a foreigner of dark complexion. If you're a foreigner, period, this is gonna hold true to you. But if you got that dark complexion, like you were just on vacation out there in Tahiti and you got a good tan, it's gonna really apply to you. People want to know who you are. They want to know your business. They want to know where you live. They want to know your income. Keep in mind, these things living abroad, you need to move accordingly and swiftly. You can never go wrong if you have a small circle of friends. I emphasize small circle of friends that have a mutual understanding of respect and what is expected in the relationship. New friends are looking to gain something. So what is it they're willing to gain? You need to figure that out when you make friends out there in Japan. From my experience, to pick up other foreign friends, sometimes of the opposite sex, some Japanese may want to be your friend. That's their motive. You need to smell that and disregard them. Let them use someone else as a sheep to try to draw in more foreign female friends or more foreign male friends. if they just want to use you just for party time, or they just want to use you, oh, I have a black friend, oh, I have an American friend, oh, I'm cool, you gotta avoid that. If you want to play that role, then by all means, go ahead and have your fun. But to be honest with you, that's not a friend. They're just using you. If this is your new friend's motive, get rid of them. They're interested in a public gain as opposed to actually helping you get better and blossom into a great person. So a good person will help you evolve, blossom like a flower. We're talking about Japan, so ohana flower at that. They want you to grow into a great individual. They want to see you prevail. They want to one day see you have a family. They want to one day see you have kids. They're not going to try to take anything from you. You understand? They're going to be a consumer and a provider in the relationship of being a great friend. They're not just going to use you. And they don't want to see wrongdoing come your way. They don't. They'll give you a heads up on how things are, what you should do. They're going to help you out. Now, guess what you do in return? You do the same. You do the same thing right back to them. If they're interested in coming to the USA, you need to help them. But did they do the same for you? Keep it equal. Actions. Don't go off the words. So Tokyo Kid Productions has a chart that they're going to be releasing here shortly. It is a chart that will help you decide whether a friend is good or bad. So the characteristics of a good friend typically involve those that want to see you evolve, blossom, become a great individuals. The characteristics of bad friends, they just want to use you for your stuff. They just want to use you for your money. I'll say this again. They just want to use you for your money. Yes, 2020 Japan, you're the foreigner coming in overseas. You have housing legally. You have housing. If you remember my first podcast, housing typically takes about 5,000 to 10K. So that already is covered. And you got a car too. Let's say for some of the foreigners that are moving there, then you got a whip. Okay, people know you got some bread. I want to be that guy's friend. You got to watch out for them, especially if you're out there in the Tokyo. Just like any city in the world, don't be a sheep. This is the key context of the entire podcast. Further details on how to make friends specifically to you that will work, and this will last a lifetime. You got to find friends who are into the same things that you are into, that have a similar niche as you. They're into the same stuff pretty much. So if you're into cars, okay, how much in detail are you into cars? Are you just a consumer of magazines? Or do you actually know how to drift in Yokohama and you have your own whip? Okay, that's cool as hell. But can you speak the language? Wow, it sounds like you're gonna get locked in. That's how it is. Your niche needs to be specific to the T to get somewhere. Another example is fighting. This is personal example. I trained K1 kickboxing in Yokohama, Eiwa for 4 years. Yes, I got my ass whooped. Yes, I whooped some fucking ass. I learned how to defend myself. At the same time, I speak the language. If you're in this position, specifically, I'm not just a boxer, I'm the K1 fighter. If you're in this position, guess what? You are about to have a unique experience in Japan. Congratulations. Keep that small circle, keep doing your thing. Been there. I know how it is. That's how you get it. You gotta get specific to the T. When it comes to music, okay, you want to be a famous artist over there in Japan? You want to make some good guap? All right, check this out. How much of the music do you actually know as a consumer? How much are you actually willing to provide to your friends? Now, music, genre, pop, specific genre, K-pop. Boom. Can you speak the language? You see the common narrative here? Can you speak the language? You can't go wrong if you don't speak the language. You can't go wrong if you speak the language. You gotta do it. That's like a given. It's very rare I see it where someone is prevailing, especially independently on their own. I'm not talking about they have foreign assets somewhere else and multiple funds just coming in because they make a phone call to mommy and daddy. I'm talking about they really get it on their own. If you're coming up, believe me, from a specific niche, it's only a matter of time. So, this is coming from a black man. The examples that I provided, these will provide you with unique experiences. Whatever you're into, if you're into knitting, get specific. If you're into fashion, get specific. But it also helps if you speak the language. You can get a lot done online. This is where a lot of people have an issue as well too. You can get a lot done online, but in regards to making friends in the real world, it helps if you actually meet them. Sounds shocking, but that's the shocker. It helps if you actually go to Japan. It helps if you actually step foot on Japanese soil. It helps if you have communications face to face with the individual you want to be friends with. Surprisingly, yes, I have to say this. So, personal example, features. I do shows internationally all over the world. Features. Individual contacts me, they want a feature. Fake flexer, talking about friends that he doesn't even know. It just so happens one of the people who he was claiming that he knew was a friend of mine for well over 15 years. Why? Yes, he's half black, half Japanese, but him and I have been friends well even before I even moved to Tokyo. We were on the same football team. Where? In high school. So when I get contacted and the fake flexers want to talk about, oh, I'm cool with this guy, guess what I'm going to do? Check your credentials. I want to see who the fuck you are. You're saying you know somebody in my circle. Okay, time to check it out. Guess what? False. They don't know you. Oh, I gave him a follow on IG. Damn. This guy's saying that he knows you. Guess what? Your reputation's messed up now. Because for one, you never step foot on soil. 2, you don't understand the meaning of your name, your artist name. 3, you ain't doing shows. You understand what I'm saying? Avoid those people at all costs. Those type of individuals are looking to use you as a consumer. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about your money. Off the front, they're willing to give you false information to your face. That's not someone you want in your circle. Belay them. Let them stay overseas. They'll never step foot in Japan. Even once they get there, guess what? They're going to be locked in the matrix. Because you know why? You know how to speak the language. They don't. You can get a lot done online, but in regards to making friends in the real world, I'm telling you, you got to go there. In closing, making friends in Japan. Go to the locations where you think you will find those individuals. Look for the specific niche. Know who's who, where to go. Learn it. Be willing to consume and provide. Don't go in with arrogance. You will only get so far. You need to go out in Japan, in the society of Japan. Realize that at the beginning, it's going to feel like you're locked in, you're in the matrix. Everything's in a foreign language. You don't know what's going on. When you learn the language, when you understand the culture, not just from a book, you got to go out there and learn it for yourself with your own eyes. Believe me, you will be released from the matrix and you will see Japan for what it really is. So, in closing, as always, life is what you make it.
Tokyo Music.